Okay, guys, I know you seen the title. It looks like Robinhood has went all in on these prediction market or option contracts before they started out with allowing you to bet or invest, trade, whatever you want to call it, on presidential elections. And it looks like they expanded into football, NFL football, and college football. So now, if we just look in market predict, if you look at prediction markets and you go to Pro Week 1, they now give you the ability to quote unquote trade or invest in event contracts based off of who you think is going to win the game. So it basically will work exactly how it, would on DraftKings or Fanboys, whatever you wanna call them. And once this is exactly how it will look. As you can see, it has all the games scheduled the first 2 weeks, and it has a probability. So the contract costs, and if you want to see a more detailed video, because they did this same exact thing for the college March Madness tournament. If you want to check that out, you can check. If you want to look at that, just check the suggested videos. But now this one is NFL, and they have the first 2 weeks. They also have other things, and I'll go over that as well. But primarily, I hope, like I said, I hope that, yes, it is recording. Yes. Primarily, what they have is the games, but they also have other things that you can bet as far as like who's going to win the Heisman, how many games is going to win, the season outcome, all of that. I'll show you that. But the way this works is the contract costs the likelihood of them are going to win. So roughly, they should add up to 100%, but sometimes it can be a little bit more. So, for example, Dallas and Philadelphia, that game September 4th, which would be tomorrow. So, the overall consensus is an 80% chance that Philadelphia is going to win and a 20% chance that Dallas is going to win. So, what would happen is each contract is 80 cents. So, you can buy as many contracts as you want. So, the payout would be $1. So, for example, if you did Dallas, and the one contract would be 21 cents. So, if you were right, they would end up just paying you out $1. Same thing for Philadelphia. If you end up paying for that, that's an 80-cent contract, and they're right, and you're right, you would get $1. Now, I'm going to just show you, I'm going to click yes, say like that I think Philly's going to win. As far as, like I said, quantity amount, you can enter as many contracts as you like. But like I said, for example, the price of the contract, Robinhood does take a commission. It's like a few pennies or something like that. So it would cost 82 cents after Robinhood's commission. And the payout would be $1, and your profit would be 18 cents. So they make it very easy for you to understand. Now, if you think that Dallas is going to win, then you would just hit no. So for example, you can either select it. So you can either select it, yes, I think Dallas is going to win. Philly contract, Dallas contract. You can, do it in any way. So select the contract who you think is going to win. Dallas, yes. And then you enter the amount. So now the contract for Dallas is 23 cents, and the payout will be $1. So because and your profit would be 77 cents. So because Dallas is, least likely to win, you're going to earn more money. So now keep in mind, like once, the game goes on, the price will kind of fluctuate based off of the score and stuff. But once it's kind of determined that they're going to lose, the contract becomes worthless. And by the way, as soon as I believe it's over, it says usually the payout is usually within an hour of the event outcome, so you get the money pretty quickly. So like I said, basically it's, straight up gambling. They can kind of categorize it as, what they want. But whatever the outcome, so you're betting on an outcome. If that outcome doesn't happen, you're kind of pretty much SOL. So like I said, they got week 1, they got week 2. As you can see, let me keep an eye on the time. Week 2, they have season outcomes. Who's going to win the division, AFC East, South, AFC South, West, all of them, you get the point. They also have, total wins. Buffalo Pro Football wins this season over 8 games, over 11 games. You can, do it as well. They also have awards. Who's going to Offensive Player of the Year winner, Coach of the Year winner, Comeback Player of the Year winner. So they have all of that stuff. They also have other as well, other genres. And I'll probably do another video on that, but I'm gonna just kind of focus on football. So this is the same one. I believe they had, like I said, so college, they already had, week 1 of college already happened. So as you can see is once the game is over, you see the value of the contract. So once, it's over, the contract of the losing one goes to 0, be kind of worthless, and the payout, as you can see, that 99 cents would be like $1. So that would, would be the payout. So once the game is over, they automatically execute the payout. Now you can, like I said, you can end up selling midway, but it's you can end up selling midway, but the thing about it is, of course, if the other team is winning a lot and your team is losing, the contract value is going to go lower, as the likelihood of them, getting blown out, the likelihood that contract is going to keep going down and going down. So, I mean, look, it's pretty much, gambling to me, but Robinhood can call it what they want. So week 2, they have that season outcome the same way. College football, Big Ten, all of that stuff, awards, and, that. But let me go to switch to, let me see, back to the football. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll, do some of it just for like more so video purposes, where I probably only put a dollar so that you can kind of see how this is. Now, what is my overall takes of this? I've kind of said my takes before. I think if you're looking at it from, I can look at it from two lens. I can look at it from a lens as I think Robinhood is definitely playing a dangerous game here, because especially for people who are new, that doesn't really know the difference between investing, trading, and gambling, and really speculating, because this is speculating. I think that it's putting them in a bad position to lose a lot of money, and it also can encourage instant gratification. For example, like with a situation like this, you can end up earning a lot of money really quickly, or you can also end up losing a lot of money really quickly, and it can encourage gambling like tendencies, behavior, like that quick rush, or feeling like, oh, I was able to make $100 or $300 pretty quickly, just betting on or going off of who I think is going to win. And then they end up, can continue to do this, put a lot more money, and then put themselves in a financial hardship. But nevertheless, gambling is, legal. They can do that. But I think Robinhood should keep this part separate from their traditional investments. So that way the customer, user, investor clearly knows like that, hey, this is in its own category. I think as long as Robinhood separates the two, or kind of make it clear that this isn't a traditional investment, these type of investments follow more of a gamble or speculative, you are aware that this is outside the scope of a traditional investment, like, so make it very clear that they know that This is, more unorthodox gambling speculation approach, extremely high risk and portrayed with extra cautious or something like that. Then I have no problems, because people gambling is kind of legal. I honestly think that they should have it in a whole, different section, like the traditional investments, and then maybe like entertainment or like trade slash gamble, something like that, to kind of make it clear. If they do that, then I don't have any problems with it. Now, I will also say, in regards to profitability wise, now offering services, event contracts, or whatever they call them, prediction contracts. By the way, these are the way they structure this, like derivative contracts, if you guys were kind of curious. But as far as a profitability standpoint, this will create Robinhood a lot. They can make a good amount of money, study cash flow, because games, if you can bet on games. So keep in mind, like if you click on one, said yes, Robinhood commission, let's say off of one, they get about like 2 cents off of one. So now just imagine if people doing like 50 and 60 and like a whole lot, you can end up seeing the total amount like of the commission. They get a good amount. So the more the more money you have in people putting on, whether they win or lose, Robinhood gets the commission regardless. So a lot of times the more people trade, increase values, the more money Robinhood end up making. So a lot of regular trading, commission free trading, is free. Of course, they take a a small spread or something like that. So when you have every single game, multiple games, football, soccer, baseball, hockey, weather, so there's always constant trades that's happening. And like I said, these games come, events comes, you can do that. This is like all year round. And you keep doing contracts, so as far as money wise, it can be very lucrative for Robinhood to do so. They did also for the presidential election, some things like that I don't think they should be able to do, because they can have major major consequences on a especially global scale, especially when you talk about policy making and things like that. But that's another whole thing. But that concludes the video. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think? And if you want to see how it end up working, just let me know in the comments below, and I'll do a few and give you an update so you can see how it will work for football as well. But that concludes everything. Catch you later.